Today we shall feature a new segment on Salam India. This segment is called Qanoon. Quite suggestive of its name, we shall hear the latest on law and order. That's right. To address Qanoon is our famous attorney and counsellor at law, Mr. Raja Bhandari from the Law Office of Sex and Settlements. They are located both in Virginia as well as Maryland.
Good afternoon. This is Raja Bhandari from Sex and Settlements and Raja Bhandari Law Offices of Annandale. Welcome back, friends. It is Qanoon. We're going to start this segment for awareness only for will and trust agreements. I will be talking about on these documents, and I will be requesting each and every one of you, if you have any question regarding this matter, then please send us an email, so we will definitely entertain those questions. As we receive so many calls every day in our offices as well as emails, this is a very touchy subject. Of course, this is related to death and or benefit for our kids as well as our benefits. Statistic shows that every 4 minutes, someone dies unexpectedly in United States of America, not from sickness or any other reason, but unexpected. Now, you can imagine if the person who dies does not have any document or any legally properly prepared will or trust, power of attorney, medical power of attorney, it can really add a lot of miseries to the family the person leaves behind. So, we will be talking about these documents in forthcoming weekends. And then let me give you one example before I start this segment. Few months back, it is a legal problem happened in particular in our area, that husband and wife dies and they leave behind children. And they did not have anybody in this country. What the government did, they put them in a foster home. Now, the family from India came here to take custody of the children, but they denied. And they have to go through so many problems, so many complications, almost 3 to 4 months before they get to see the kids and they have the custody of the children. The reason behind was that because the couple who dies do not rather have any will, any power of attorney, any guardianship for the kids, any legal trust agreement. So you can imagine that anything like this can happen to anybody in the United States of America. We always used to say that if you don't have a will, the fate of the children is in hands of states, not of yours. So remember that we have to prepare. Let's get on to this one. Get it done from anywhere you want, but get it done properly. Get it done properly, written documents for you and for your family. So I will be talking about on the will. Now, what is a will? Will is a very simple, legally written document. Of course, you can write your own. Now, there are certain kinds of wills that we can talk about. One is a simple will, one is a foreign will, one is a holographic will, one is a living will. Most of the time, we mix and match all these wills, but each will has its own significance, friends. Remember that most of the time, I heard that so many times in our office, I need a living will. Living will is a medical will. So you have to understand what kind of will we are talking about, what are the significance of that will, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the will. So we will be talking about a simple will right now. Simple will is a mere intention of you and your spouse that after you and your spouse rather no more in this particular world, this is how you want to distribute your assets after your death. So, and then you also appoint an administrator as well as an executor. So, of course, when you appoint that executor or personal representative in the will, then that particular will has to go to probate. Of course, there are complications, there are expenses related when you go to probate, and then there's a time frame. There is a lot of efforts, a lot of expenses when it comes to attorney who is going to probate that will, and of course that county has to charge certain amount of taxes, depends upon each case. Now, this is a simple will we are talking about. Now, there is another will we are talking about, holographic will. If you get it prepared from any attorney or any person who is authorized or to prepare the will, that is a simple will. If you write your own will, that becomes a holographic will. Of course, it's acceptable in the court. However, it has to be properly written, properly witnessed, and properly notarized. So, please make sure when you write this kind of will, that becomes invalid if it is not properly authorized, notarized, and of course witnessed and signed properly. So, this is a will situation we are talking about. Now, we are talking about a pour on will. Pour on will usually is in the trust agreement. We will be talking about in the forthcoming weeks about the trust, what kind of trust we should have, what kind of will we should have in that particular trust. So, that is called pour in will. Now, we have a living will. Living will, friends, is basically related to medical situation of yours. So, how you want to treat it after the death. Of course, as you know that our American friends, they have all the burials, all the what you call arrangement for the funeral already been taken care. Most of them buy the land, most of that pay the funeral expenses in advance. So, these kind of things that you can also do for you or for your loved one, that after the death, that how you want to be treated. I will be talking about on the same subject again the next week, so we can talk about the what is living will is all about. Friends, time is up for today. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to send the emails to us so we can respond to your questions. This is Raja Bhandari. Take care. So long.